I think really the two critical pieces for me that really came to the forefront. First was this whole conversation around a common currency and how we actually start to talk about things on some sort of level playing field. And I think the more that we start to talk around those things, not to say we figured it out or that we've landed on what that common currency is, but that's really what's going to push us forward. And I think the more frank we are, and really which kind of I think fits into the second point I wanted to make, which is I love in this forum and just having people express and being open and kind of almost confrontational in some way, and in a really kind of proactive way. But really, there's very few opportunities to sit down and have conversations that don't happen on the front lines of how we do business. The idea is let's get pretty senior level group together and have a really frank conversation around where our space is. And I think other conferences do a really good job of inviting, you get a wide scope and a wide spectrum of people, but I think that what's different here is that I think everyone has a voice, and I think that's sometimes unique. I think sometimes what drives a lot of conference content may not always be the best thing for the conversation or what you're actually trying to accomplish. I love that with Videonomics there's a very clear agenda of like having buyers and sellers and having brands basically with really able to kind of share what their perspective is and actually have the forum to do it. And I think that's unique, and we don't have enough of those. So it's funny, we just set up on stage and asked everyone to basically raise any issue that you may have or anything that we should be talking about. It's kind of hard to pinpoint one thing to say this is something we're not talking about enough, but one of the things that did come up that as we were talking afterwards is this whole thing, and we're not really talking about the whole other side, like meaning creative and production, the implications of really evolving what we're doing from a digital video standpoint, and the implications that has for our creative agencies and for the folks that are actually co-creating content and doing some of the things that we as buyers are trying to pave the way to. And I think I don't know if that's at some point bringing them into this conversation. I don't know if there's a dedicated place to have that type of conversation, but I almost feel like if there are three legs of the stool in the sense of having buyers and sellers, I almost feel like in this conversation, if we talk about more robust user experiences and really doing content and video in the right way, we're kind of missing a pillar or a leg. And I think I think we could probably have more conversation that'd be fruitful from that perspective, from a creative and production standpoint.